Welcome, 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 everybody. I'm loving this as always. Good to see you all in the chat. I just want to give a quick shout out to somebody. I actually haven't made the announcement, but I guess I'm going to do it now. So James Driscoll has joined the Outpost Gray family. He is coming on as a cybersecurity content creator. So big round of applause to him. I have been lacking on getting the announcement made, so I'm sorry, James. What he's going to be doing is he's going to be helping with our Friday shows that we have called the Cyber Fed News Roundup. So I'm really excited to have his insights as part of the show. And bonus points every week, you're able to figure out which story James wrote because it's really good. And he wrote a couple of really good ones this week. So I'm really, really excited about that. So thanks again, James. Good to see you in the chat. So everybody that is here, that you are my repeat offenders, it's so good to see you. DJ BSEC, it's also good to see you. Welcome back. Good to pop in here. For anybody that's new, I am your host. I am Jack Scott, and you've stumbled upon an amazing live stream with Outpost Gray, which is in collaboration with Grant Thornton Public Sector. All of the thoughts, all of the opinions here are of my thoughts and opinions and not Grant Thornton's thoughts and opinions. We do go live every Thursday from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I go live with either a one-on-one interview or I do a fireside or a panel discussion. And today is going to be amazing. So you're definitely in for a real treat. But before we bring the guest on, really quick, I like to do some quick things to just let you know what we have up for shows. Next Thursday, I'm really excited about this because if you guys remember, Daniel was supposed to be on the show a few weeks ago. We had some technical issues and we had a surprise guest hop on the show. Kimberly was actually part of this show. So this was fun. He's coming back. So we are doing the show next week. I'm really, really excited about that. You want to tune in. He was actually part of the adjustment when StuckNet happened. And he's going to talk about the impacts to the ICS OT landscape and just the overall challenges that we're seeing in the industrial space. And then lastly, just a quick reminder, if you haven't checked it out, I highly encourage you to check it out. We do every Friday at 9 a.m. We publish a pre-recorded show called the Cyber Fed News Roundup. And what it is the highlights from the week to cover the cyber federal space. So anything like it could be GRC related within the federal space. It could be GDPR within Europe. So all federal news, and we cover about 6 to 7 stories. So it's about 7 minutes or less. So great show. Huge thanks for everybody that's been watching, showing up every week, giving me your constant feedback. I am loving it. And like I said, James is now part of that collab, which is super rad. All right, so I know you guys are ready for it because I am. Let's get our guest on the show. But first, let me tell you a little bit about, okay, I got to say her last name right. Dorota Kozlowska. And if I didn't say that right, she'll correct me. And I see her in the green room laughing right now, and that's okay. So amazing woman, first off. Today, she's a pen tester, but before that, okay, get this, you guys. Before that, she was a test automation engineer, a photographer, a guitarist, an archer, and a cyclist, just to name a few things. She brings a wealth of knowledge to the show today, so I'm really excited about having her on the show and having her share her story of how she's broken the barriers to break into cybersecurity and even more so becoming a woman as a red teamer. So without further ado, let's give her a round of applause and let's get Dorota on the show. Woo! I love it! Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that amazing outfit that we have going on here? Please tell me. This is Wonder Woman. I mean, literally, like, hold on. I have to enlarge my screen really quick. But I'm like, what's up with Wonder Woman? Why I love it. This is awesome. So welcome to the show. Welcome to Outpost Gray. But first, we have to kick it off. I've got to know what's going on. This is awesome. Like, what's up with Wonder Woman?
So, yeah, I was a very shy person once, and then I made like a lot of changes in my life. And then I went through some pretty heavy stuff, and then went out like stronger and like more powerful. So it was like at the same times when the Wonder Woman movies was like on top, and I really loved the character because she's like the first superhero to get her own movie, and yeah, she's a powerful woman, right?
She is.
So I thought to myself, well, actually,
I love it.
yeah.
Okay, so is that real leather going on right there? I mean, I'd be sweating like crazy.
No, it's okay. It's not real, but it's not so warm.
So you have the sheaths on too. Show that. Awesome. Do you and you have the whip? It was like her powerful whip thing that you've
Yeah,
got. This is awesome.
the last of truth.
That is great. Do you is it full outfit on right now or do you only have like the waist up?
No, I have a skirt
Oh,
too.
she has the entire thing on. That is awesome. I love that. Wow, you brought it. You brought it all to the show today. That's awesome. So let's talk about how we met. Everybody's like, that's so, I don't know if you see, do you see the chat at all? Can you see it at all? Like they're saying, here, I'll show you. It's pretty awesome. You guys are the best. Good to see you, Bob. Always good to see you. So we've got Bob, you're awesome. Cybersecurity Central is doing that little hand emoji thing that I've never fully understood what that is, but I know it's excitement of some sort. Yeah. Carrie, loving it. Always good to see you, Carrie. Jess, I love this. Yeah. So you've definitely got some fans out there. I love that. So thank you for being real and authentic and coming as your just genuine self. That's amazing. I love that. That's what I love about you. So let's talk about like, how did we meet? Do you remember?
Yeah, so when I entered cybersecurity, I was like looking for like a person to look up to, and then I went on LinkedIn and started like writing posts, and then there was a person that started to come up like more and more. It was JJ Davy, and he's a very smart person. I gotta give him that, and to be honest, he's handsome, so it's not a secret, right? So so yeah, I I started following him, and then started looking for like what are his interviews, and like found the one with you, and it was like one of the best. So I really like you after that one. So I'm happy.
Awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, JJ is awesome in the community. And ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here. Dorota thinks JJ is good looking. So somebody clip that and send it to him. It'd be amazing. I mean, she's Wonder Woman. So I love that. Yeah, I remember interviewing him, and that was actually one of my first like one-on-ones, like interviews, because I had been doing pre-records for the show for a while, and he was so hilarious. I just remember we were just laughing at the start. So he's got great personality, but he also cares for the community, and he really wants to help people. So I think that's fantastic. It's so great that you met him because we met each other. Yay. It's awesome. Yay. I love that. So where are you from? Where are you calling in right now? I think everybody would love to know that.
So yeah, I'm in Poland right now. I was born in the eastern part, so it's like really green, and then I went to the Netherlands for a few years, and came back here, and now I'm in Warsaw. It's not so green. It's like a bit, yeah, fumed. Like
Yeah.
when you cycle and like your lungs burn, but it's okay. I like it.
All the smog and everything from the city. Yeah. So you're okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. So you're a cyclist and you have a lot of different hobbies. How do you like, how do you manage all of those hobbies and do you do them often? Are they kind of your outlet to like decompress after a long day of work?
But yeah, I don't have like a schedule. Oh, today I will cycle, or today I will just like I don't know do archery. But yeah, I just like doing those things, and when I finish working, then for example, I go for a bike ride, and then it clears my head. So yeah, I really like it, and I have a lot of hobbies, not only this what you mentioned. So it's like I also, for example, like drawing.
Yeah, I love that. And the clearing the head is so critical. So how many miles do you like? I guess I should ask, what is the longest bike ride? I think for me was 20 miles. I know that isn't very long to like most people. I don't ride a bike though. I have one, I have a small condo. I have it hanging on the wall vertically over here. It's pretty dangerous, but it hasn't fallen. But like, how many miles has been your longest? Have you done 100? Isn't that a century or something?
So I would say in kilometers. Is that okay?
Oh God, yeah.
Maybe.
We'll have to do some math. How many kilometers?
So it was like 60.
60 kilometers. Okay, can somebody tell me what 60 kilometers is in miles? 60 kilometers. Oh, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it before somebody else is going to get it. Okay, so almost 40 miles pretty much. That's legit. Yeah, that is legit. Way to go. I ran a full marathon once and that was pretty painful. That's what I feel like this could probably be, is like a marathon length for a bike ride. Oof. Your tushy has to hurt after that for a little while. Yeah.
I wanted to mention that, but
like, gotta get a good seat on that. Oh my gosh, I love it. And hey, greetings to LinkedIn user. I saw you hop in, but we don't have your name. It just showed you as LinkedIn user. I don't know why. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your like overall experience, like how you got to where you are right now. And I know that initially you started as a test automation specialist or a test automation engineer. Can you talk a little bit about what does that mean? Because that sounds like, yeah, it sounds pretty intense. And then how did you even start in that role?
so like I will go one step before, and so
Perfect.
I wanted to study computer science, but I didn't. I don't know, didn't believe in myself then enough, I guess. And then went to study economics, had like a master's, and went to work in an office for like 8 years, and it was like a soul-sucking job. But
Yeah.
I hated it, and then started thinking, oh yeah, I really like IT and spending time with my computer. Wanted to be, I don't know, like a hacker, programmer kind of a person, and then started reading about like what kind of a job I could do in IT to just like enter the field, and found software testing. So, and it was pretty much the same thing what I was doing in the office, but I would just assign like assessing projects for European Union, but like checking with the rules and like what was the projects and like finding the bugs and like, oh, I will not give you money, I found the bug.
I love that.
And then yeah, and pretty much software testing was the same, because you have to find what is wrong with the software. And then yeah, I really liked it, and I felt like this is the job for me, because I liked like finding the bugs. And then wanted to go one step higher and learned coding and wrote a few tests in Java with Selenium, and then went to another employer that could use that actually. And then yeah, I wrote like a whole project for that, and yeah, I really love that. And yeah, how did I go through to pen testing?
But let's not go there yet. We can't go there yet. I have a question though. Do you feel, before we get to that, because there's so much good meat in the middle of all of that, of how like everything that transitioned to get you kind of into that space. And I really want to like frame that and cover that for all of the listeners and viewers right now. And if you all have questions, make sure to drop them in the chat as well. Now, do you feel like some of your IT skills that you had when you were the test automation specialist helped you when you were wanting to transition into pen testing? Now that you're a pen tester, do you feel like, oh, some of these skills actually did help me?
So I think actually yes, because the people that were interviewing me said, oh, you have all this experience like before, and you have project management skills, and like wrote code and tested something, but not pen testing, but still testing, like pretty close. Like yeah, you have skills, girl.
Yeah, that's awesome. You have skills, girl. Boom. That's actually a great segue to ask you, like, were there times as you were entering, because I would assume being in the IT space as a test automation specialist, you were probably one of the few women that worked in the space, if not the only woman. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, pretty much the only girl in the team. And then in another job, I was like one of the three at some point.
So yeah,
but
you're
the only tester.
Right. And that can be like kind of intimidating depending on your environment, depending on how supportive your team is. Did you ever feel just did you ever feel like overwhelmed, or did you ever have these moments where you were frustrated because you were that token woman, or you felt like it was just a little bit harder because you were a woman in that space? That's great.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, actually no, because I really liked working with men, and
I,
because they are like, I don't know how to explain that, but I don't know. I just like to talk with them and like be on the same level. And like when I work in the office, there was like only women there, so I didn't feel like good in that environment. It could be like catty sometimes. So,
yeah.
yeah, but with men, it's like different. They're like helpful and like want to explain stuff to you, and that was great.
That's amazing. No, and I've worked in a male dominated industry as well, and it is very different when you work with, like, if you were in HR, for example, or I actually, a lot of people don't know this. I had my cosmetology license as soon as I got out of high school. And so at like 18, I was in a salon, and that was a lot. It's a lot of women. It's majority women. And it's a different environment working with males. And it sounds like you were very apt to work in that environment, and it didn't really affect you in like a negative way, and it really just kind of helped you in your career. Do you feel like you had a lot of male mentors along your journey then?
Oh yeah, I think so, because I'm always very like friendly, and so yeah, they everyone liked me and tried to, yeah, help me. And also like the first interview for a pentester I had with like two men, and they were like, I felt like they were judging me like, you woman, what are you doing here? Like, you know nothing. But at the end of the interview, I asked them, oh yeah, I feel like they didn't do so well on the interview, but what can I do differently? And then they told me everything, like what should I read first, like where to go, what page to check out. And that was like, yeah, I felt judged, but at the end it felt like that interview kind of like formed me into the person that I am today, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. Everything in our life, I always say this, like, all the time we grow is during our challenges, but everything we go through in our life really defines who we are today. So everything, even if, I mean, you hear so many people that are successful that talk about just try things. Even if you don't like it, learn from it, develop the skills. You're not going to like everything in cybersecurity and IT, but the skills will build on each other, and it'll make you a better practitioner. I agree with that. Kimberly dropped a question in here that I think would be great to pose. And thanks for this question, Kimberly. So she said, you mentioned you didn't have the confidence to go for a computer science degree. What made you gain the confidence to come out and go for pen testing? Or, yeah. And then she said, or how did you? So how did you gain the confidence to come out and go for pen testing?
So that was like a longer path, because when I was like finishing my work in the office, I I have like, yeah, I'm so done with this. I want a happy life, and I'm not happy. And you spend at your work like most of your life. So yeah, I wanted to change, and then was a lot of change also in my personal life. And with the pen testing, I was the test engineer, and when I was like learning for like certification for software testing, there was like, and reading a lot of books and materials. There are only like always like at the end of the book a mention about pen testing, and also like my one of my favorite TV shows is Mr. Robot. And when I went to Netherlands, I started going to hacking like pen testing meetups and listening on the sidelines, like, what is this about? Like, I really like this, but I don't understand what's happening. and and after 2 years of that, I got really sick, very sick, and then I started like thinking, yeah, girl, you really want this, and you may not have the chance to do it, but maybe you should try anyway. And then yeah, I started doing like CompTIA courses, like watching a lot of I don't know, YouTube with like, for example, Professor Messer, and then yeah, gained the courage to just try and like send the CVs and like see what happens. And then I don't know, I guess I really wanted that, and on the interviews I had like this spark in my eye,
Oh, I love that.
and then yeah, they, I don't know, the interviewers felt that, I guess.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And something you said that I just want to reiterate is that you said just tried. Like you just put yourself out there and tried. And I know that seems super easy, but when we feel fearful or we just feel like something is out of reach, it can be really scary to try. I know people in this chat can relate to that, and there's one person in particular that I'm working with right now, and I even just had my own challenge just like in the last 24 hours. And the biggest thing you need to do is lean in and try. And you're going to build those confidence. And had you not tried, you wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't be in a Wonder Woman attire sitting here with Outpost Gray talking about being that female voice of technology and innovation and like breaking those barriers to get to where you're at as a pen tester. I love that. Tom actually had a question for you that I thought was really good. Great question, Tom. Thank you. Tom Bishop is awesome, amazing community member. Do you or have you ever felt like you had to defend yourself in a male-dominated environment?
Also, yeah, there was like this one incident on LinkedIn that someone wrote a message to me and then started asking me question, oh, can you hack this or this or this? And then when I like didn't answer like straight away, he said, oh, I knew it. Ha ha ha, you're weak. Like women are always weak. And then I don't know, I felt like, yeah, that's not right. It's not true. And then, yeah, I was like hesitant about it, but then covered his name and like posted that, and it was like a explosion, I don't know, on LinkedIn, and there was like a lot of supportive people. Like, yeah, it was like that post went viral, so I was like, what's happening?
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy you put yourself out there. But that was another thing where you put yourself out there. And that is a great, I want to ask you about that a little bit. Like making a post like that takes a lot of courage. And I'm curious when that happened to you a lot, what a lot of people will do will cower, beat themselves up and like, just be like, yeah, that was right or whatever. And just negative self-talk. But it sounds like you kind of stood your grounds and you took your power back. How did you like, was that an actual did you have were you having an actual, what is the word I'm trying to think of? It's not considerate, but was this an intentional thought that you were like, this is what's happening and I need to take my power back, so I'm going to make this post? Or was this something that transpired like unconsciously in a way and then it just started happening? You're like, wow, this just happened.
Yeah, so
Tough question.
yeah, I don't know what to say. So yeah, I just thought like it was like in the moment, I guess. So
Okay, so it was
I'm not taking that shit.
yeah,
I guess I don't know if I can say that.
no, that's great. So it was a couple of things. It was like it was conscious in a way that you were like, I'm not going to take that crap, and then you like adjusted and you like fired back basically to take your power back. So it's good. That's like really good that you recognize that. And when you made that post, did you have any fears or anything about, man, oh, I'm going to make this post, it could come back on me negative? Or was it really like you were seeing red and just angry and you're like, I'm making the post, I don't care about it?
No,
It was
it was
like,
just like there was like a wrote like it posted the picture, but also like there was like a message like, yeah, you're like a male. There's like a male dominated field, and like woman is entering, and she is trying her best, and like she doubts herself anyway. But yeah, don't do that. Like, yeah, don't be like this, and just be supportive and help her, and not be like this person, right? Something like that.
100%. I love that. That's such a beautiful story. And Bob gave you a shout out. He said, junior software tester, path to programming, then test engineer to pen tester. That is a journey. Round of applause. I agree, Bob. And hence why she's on the show to talk about that. So we've covered a lot, but I want to kind of pivot back to other sides of your story and your journey. Like we talked about this during your pre-show when we were talking about like as you were going through and you were doing IT and test automation, you were also doing some stuff on the side. And I think it's really cool to highlight, like you're also a photographer and you were doing it on the side after hours, after your work. Tell a little bit about like why photography. Do you still do it now? Like, is it more of a passion project now?
So, yeah, I really, so I was passionate. So yeah, I don't know how to explain. I'm a like very artistic person. I like to draw, and I have like an eye for detail, and also like have an eye. I I don't know, to notice beautiful things, I guess.
Yeah.
So I decided to do photography, and also my sisters and my father did photography, so it was like kind of like obvious thing to follow. And yeah, when I was, for example, in the Netherlands, and I was a bit shy then, so I decided that like a side project for myself to just like go to like very pretty girls on the street, and I tell her like, "Oh, you're very beautiful. Can you pose for my pictures here?" Like, and mostly they were like really supportive and like, "Oh yeah, go ahead."
Yeah.
So yeah, I like taking pictures, but I decided, yeah, I will not turn that into a job, because then I will hate it, because it will feel like it's a, yeah, I have to do it to earn money, right? But if
Yeah.
I keep it as a passion, so it's still alive, and yeah, I'm still doing that.
Yeah, what I really loved about that story when you were sharing it with me during our discussion a couple of days ago was that you really loved like meeting people and showing them a beautiful side of them that maybe they didn't see until you took that photo. And filters and all of that aside, it was you were able to capture people's essence. And that's such a beautiful thing because we live in this very, in a way, plastic world of all these filters and Instagram, and it's just everything's perfect, 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 and we can be really hard on ourselves. And you made it a point to serve others by taking these photos and capturing that beautiful side of them to remind them that they are beautiful. And that's like such a great thing because I don't think we hear like we do not do that enough as a community, as a like as a world. And that's just amazing that you would go out of your way to do that. And it's seen like that type of your character is also seen in the community because you still do that in the cybersecurity community. Like you still give back on all the things you're doing. You still make time to give back. And so I'm curious, why do you do that? Is it something from like your childhood that, you know, you're like you've always been a giver? Like why is that? I like do you feel I want to give back selflessly too? Like you don't ask for anything in return.
Yeah, so how to start? So when I was a teenager, it wasn't easy for me. I was like self-doubting myself a lot, and like, I don't know, I wasn't in love in myself, to say that delicately. And then yeah, and when I entered the cybersecurity field, I also like struggled and didn't know where to go first, and like what to do, and like what to read at the beginning. So I felt like, yeah, I'm drowning here a bit. So when I gained that knowledge and knew where to like maneuver and what to do, I decided, yeah, to share that back and give back to the community, so other people would have maybe easier road than I had. And yeah, to I'm also very very supportive, so trying to tell people like, yeah, believe in yourself, like, yeah, just go for it, send that CV. So yeah, just, I don't know, to give back and like not to help others to, I don't know, I guess do it in an easier way than that I did. I don't know. I'm nervous. Sorry.
No, no, no. You're with your family right now. You've got 16 people, at least the only, I can't see LinkedIn, but you've got 17 people in Cooper Kitty over here just sending you bunches of love. So, yeah,
Oh.
maybe, yeah, of course. No, we all love you. This is like feedback right now, just so you can see it. I think this is important too. Like, Kimberly's just letting you know this is awesome that you're so aware to know you want to keep it creative, talking about your photography work. Carrie, such a good message. He said, I'm on my journey to get into tech. It's not easy, and I'm glad to have videos like this to encourage us to go for it. Aw. And then Bob, this is so encouraging. And then Kimberly is amazing and a huge community supporter. You're doing great. Oh, we got one more popped up. Look at that. Oh, hey, Tanya. You're amazing, Dorota. I love that. Oh, Bob's so right. Look at this. Look at this. Everybody's just pouring in. Girl, we family now. That's how I think you're saying it, Bob. I don't know. We haven't met, but I feel like he's like, girl, we family now. Like, that's
I
how I
love
would
it.
say it. I love it. Yeah, and Tom's right. Don't be nervous. We're all humans. Yeah, we're all equals here. And you're a beautiful soul. And you're shining your light with all this. So I'm so thankful that you're here with us. So let's talk a little bit about so we talked about you giving back to the community and kind of your why behind that. I want to take a kind of a step back now and talk a little bit more about cybersecurity. Like you pivoted successfully into the space and you're a pen tester. What some would say is like a coveted position because everybody wants that. We'll just call it sexy, that sexy role because you always hear about hackers and pen testers. Was that out of, you've shared some of your story of why you went into that path, but did having that, because I don't know how it is in Europe, that it is very it is a more sought after position here in the States because it's like, oh, that's the red team, the, bad ace role. Was it like that in Europe? And if so, did that kind of encourage your direction of wanting to become a pen tester?
Oh, it's not really about that. It was just something that I wanted, not that it was just, I don't know, something that other people wanted and then I wanted, oh, I just want to follow them. It was just that I saw for myself like a few years ago and wanted to just, I don't know, follow that dream, I guess.
Oh, I love that. So you saw it a few years ago. You wanted to follow the dream. Was it something like, we're going back to intention again, because you seem like you do a lot of things out of intention. So you're like, this is my dream. I want to be a pen tester. Did you, when you were going after that path, did it kind of like appear one day and you're like a position, you're like, I'm gonna approach it? Or were you seeking that role for a while of like, I'm really thinking about pen testing. I want to see if I can find this position, or was it something that just kind of happened at the right place, the right time?
Oh, it was like the latter. So yeah, I started sending my CVs and then bombed a few of the interviews. Yeah, to be honest, and then on one of the meetups I was going to, my employer, like current employer, had like a presentation, and then I asked a question like, "Oh, do you hire also like super green people?" or something like that.
That's
And
awesome.
one of the presenters gave me like a very wrong reply and my email. And I already knew the company because I worked with them in my current then company. And I thought, maybe I should send my CV there. And to be honest, I didn't really get it straight to a pen tester.
Yeah.
So when I was in the Netherlands, I was uh, security delivery analyst. So it was something else, more like SOC work, like writing documentation. And
Yeah.
then I had to go back to Poland, and then this found out that they have like also pen testing, and
I love that.
asked a friend that I knew she was working there. Oh, do you need maybe employees?
Mhm. That's
Because
awesome.
I'm interested. And then one thing came to another, and I had another interview for that position, and that's what happened actually.
So it took you a lot of time, but you didn't give up. And what I want to make clear for everybody it's watching, listening right now, you said a key thing. You were able to land a job. If I understood the story correctly, you landed your job through somebody you knew. Is that correct?
I just asked her like,
Yeah.
because there's also good to have someone in the company already, like at least to ask questions like what they expect, or like how does she likes the job. And she told me about it, and I decided I want to join them as well because it like felt it's the right place to go. And
That's awesome. Yeah. And so you landed your job through having a network and you still went through the process. And don't worry, I've bombed interviews. I had one like a few months back and I actually had to stop the interview because the guy was just belittling me. And I was just like, what am I getting? I actually asked him, I'm like, what are you interviewing me for? Because this isn't the role. You're asking me way hard questions. And it just got to the point where I'm like, this is terrible. And I've heard other people that go through that too. So it happens, but look at you today. And we've got I love some of the love that's coming in here. I want to just share with you really quick. So JD is in the house, sending lots of love from ACN Polish Red Team. Woo, woo. We are proud of you. Tom Ryan, my dear friend and brother. Dorota, keep crushing it. Red teamers for the win. Good person to know. Great person. And then just some comments. I love this, Don. Networking helps a lot. Demonstrating tenacity by putting yourself out there, starting, and being involved with conversations go even further. 100% quality. Oh, I love this. So Tom's a huge supporter of women. Love that. He said every red team needs a woman because they think differently. Absolutely. 100%, because you bring a different side, a different vision, a different view to your work that the males aren't going to have. So they're lucky to have you. Remember that. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so now that you've landed let's talk about, like, you've gone through the process and you landed the position. And I think what a lot of people forget to talk about is like what happens after, because sometimes the grass is not always greener on the other side of that fence. And it's not that you might not love your job. It's just that sometimes we forget to talk about those challenges that are associated with being at a new company, if it's a new company, a new position, and just like that learning curve, like that. It could be a really like steep learning curve, and you like don't know if you're going to have a supportive team and all of that. So I'd love to hear about like some of the challenges that you faced when you hit the ground running as a red teamer, that you were
So,
surprised. Yeah.
like my main challenge was maybe connected with the fact that I had moved from the Netherlands to Poland and then started a new job straight away, and so I had a tough time decompressing and like adjusting myself to, oh, I'm in Poland again. Oh yay!
Oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, my team is very supportive, and yeah, they're like wonderful, wonderful people. I couldn't have like imagined like a better team to have. And to be honest, yeah, the job is difficult, and I have like this image like I'll be unicorns and rainbows, but then yeah, you have like this wall, and yeah, you don't know that, right? And you have to
Yep.
learn, and yeah, that's like tough. But I'm like trying my best and like working on that. And to mention that again, my team is very supportive, so that really helps.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's like, when you first got into the role, because you didn't, when you get into the role, you can study as much as you want to. I know this from my own experience of working in different spaces, and cybersecurity is just a unique space that there's only so much coursework. There's only so many hack the boxes and red versus blue challenges for anybody who's done threat gen out there, my threat gen people. But when it's real world and you're working for a company and you're in the job, it's completely different. And so when you got into the job, did you have the courage to be able to raise your hand and ask for help? Because I think that's such a critical thing in this space, but it can be really, really intimidating.
Oh, yeah, I did that. Maybe I was like asking too much questions, maybe to the point of getting like a bit annoying. But yeah, I always ask a lot of questions because then I figure like, yeah, I can Google that, but then I will lose like a lot of time, and that person may already know that and answer me like in 5 minutes, and also explain it to me like in an easy way, so I can understand it, like go and do my job. So obviously I ask a question, but if it feels like it's too easy of a question, then maybe I should start Googling first. I try to like see what the question is about, like can I do it myself? And then like at the beginning when I was like really panicky and I wanted to do my job well, I asked a lot of questions to my buddy, and she
Yeah.
said, oh, Dorota, you already know that. And yeah, and then it was like a few times when she didn't answer straight away, and I just, yeah, I already know that. Yeah, you're right.
That's awesome that she's helping you along the way like that. And like, it sounds almost like a mentor.
Yeah.
Like she's being a mentor, which you need that in this industry. I feel like, to be successful and not burn yourself out and feel like you're part of a community, you need to have that mentor in here. There was a question I was going to ask you, and I should have written it down. And you were talking about, the Googling or the researching. I think this is really important to highlight because we have so many tools in front of us. Like Google, for example, is a great resource, especially if you're doing red teaming. I know I used Google a lot for when I was trying to develop scripts to help me when I was pulling indicators of compromise, when I was doing cyber threat intel and I couldn't remember a script, or maybe I needed to like look at SQL because I was in a SQL database to pull like data out of it. And one of our first things that we want to do is like reach out for help. But I want to get your thoughts around this. For me, I think that you should not spend a ton of time, like don't spend a full day, or like if you have a project that's due in 6 hours, spend 4 hours trying to research the answer. But I think when time allows and appropriately, you should spend time researching that answer, coming together with a conclusion. If you can't answer it yourself, you bring what you've researched, that conclusion, or what just your, it might not even be a conclusion, it might just be a stream of consciousness to your mentor or to your team and say, hey, I have done this, I've researched this, I've done all these, can you help me here? And I just want to get like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's an appropriate approach to like solving some of these problems that we have in cybersecurity?
Yeah, obviously. So it's like asking questions like, give me that on the platter. Like, yeah, answer all of my doubts. It was like, yeah, I did all the groundwork here, but yeah, I struggled to find that answer. So yeah, that makes sense. And also, I'm trying to make notes while I go. So then when I have like the same problem like in a month, then I don't have to rewrite the wheel again. So
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you. Sorry, didn't want to interrupt you. No, your thought process was good. I agree. I think one thing you said is create processes. Like when I find the answer to something, if it was like for when I did cyber threat intel and I found a code that would help me like pull IOCs from a certain database, I kept the code obviously, and I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. Where I work now in GRC, it's a lot of templates. And so when I create a template that works, I want to reuse it, make things that are standardized and repeatable. And it sounds like that's what you do, is that you're trying to make a process for yourself. Because I feel like as cybersecurity practitioners, we have a toolkit. And that toolkit it's templates, it's different codes that we run, it's different tool sets that we use, it's different tooling on our computer, and it's all customized to ourselves. And I like that idea. Question on that. Do you, man, this might be a tough question. I don't know. It's kind of off the slave, but as a pen tester, is there a particular tool that you enjoy using the most? Like anything within your toolkit that you've started to utilize that you're like, oh, I really like this. This really helps me within my job.
also then I think my favorite is Burp Suit.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, it's a lot of tools in one. And also I like Nmap.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my favorite, I don't know, I guess it's a cracking tool. So John the Ripper, I don't know, I really love that one.
That's awesome. I love that. And I need to drop everybody. It's in stream right now because I see a good number in there, a little over 20. So you guys are awesome. And LinkedIn, I don't know what is happening with LinkedIn, so we'll figure that out. But I want to drop your LinkedIn information in here. So everybody that's watching, I just want to encourage you, go out, meet, connect with Dorota, introduce yourself, follow her, engage her. She is an amazing human being. I meant to drop this in here earlier, at least a couple of times, but all of you've got her info. Make sure to spam her on LinkedIn. She'll appreciate it. So happy that you made the time to come here. Okay, now pivoting back in. All right, so we've talked about, your journey into becoming a pen tester, some of the challenges that you faced being in this space. And now I want to talk about like your future vision of where you're going, because you recently got this job. I remember looking at your LinkedIn, like it's been within the last year, right? You recently became a pen tester. Okay. So you've just become a pen tester this year, and learning a skill set like this, they say, and hey, audience, everybody can correct me on this because I'm not a pen tester, but they say average to get a good baseline and become like a novice is about 18 months. That also depends on the type of work you're doing, the intensity of the work, how much you're studying on your own, and all of those factors. So with that in mind, where do you see yourself, or have you even considered like, where do you see yourself in the next, like, say, year down the road? Do you still see yourself like in this position doing this, or do you have big plans of like what that looks like that you can share with us?
So yeah, in the year I probably still be a pentester, but my like longer term plan is to go for red teaming. So it's like more extreme pen testing, to explain that easily, or like maybe combine my previous experience with pen testing, so go for like a security engineer position. But I guess a red teamer would be the first choice.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Tom, you hear that? Red teamer out there. Let me know. Let me know when you're ready to hire. Give it another year or so. He will be. He does some international work. Yeah. That's awesome. So that's good. So for you, when you're setting goals, because I did an episode on like goal setting. Is that your cat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
yay. Which one is it? Is it the white fluffy one?
Oh, should I show?
Yeah, show and tell. Cooper's like being super lazy over here. I don't want to pull him up. Of course,
There's
Rochelle.
Roger.
What's
He's
that one?
hungry.
Oh my god, he's so cute. All right, we just nerded out on kitties. It's okay. I got mine. He's snuggled up. He's leaving me alone right now, but he's pissed that I haven't fed him early. He always is hungry. Okay, so goal setting. Focus. No kitties. Okay, so goal setting. Do you have like, I don't think formalized, but do you have a process within your goals? Or because you've achieved a lot in your life, you've gone through and done a lot of things in your life, you've had a lot of changes, recently moved back to your near your hometown. Do you have a process with your goals, or are you one of those individuals that's kind of a fluid thing? You kind of set where you want to go and you kind of just move into that. I'm just curious, like how you execute to get to certain places.
So yeah, I like to have a plan, and even now I have like a Kanban board in Notion. When I have like what I already did, what are my like plans for learning, what I want to do. I don't know, write an article, like do like a box somewhere, or like a certification, and I have it like in 3 columns, like done, in progress, still to do. And also like when I go after something, then I create like a plan. For example, if I want to follow like a certain job, then I start looking for like job postings, read what they want in those uh, jobs, I guess, and then yeah, start to create like a plan. Like, oh, they want this certification or like this skill, and yeah, trying to do like small and smaller type of like steps for that, and like then create like a timeline, and I don't know, just sit on my for my butt and learn, I guess.
Sit on my forehead. You almost said sit on my forehead. Um, so let's talk about like those certifications. You just mentioned them, and I just hopped into your LinkedIn, and it shows. I'm not looking through all of them, but you have quite a few. Like everybody, I'm just going to tell you, like, I'm just going to name off for everybody that's listening here. Offensive pen testing, counter ransomware with MITRE attack, junior pen tester, Unix badge, CompTIA pen test, intermediate breach and attack simulation, intermediate MITRE attack, introduction to Fin 6 emulation plan, strategic cyber management. And I'm going to stop there because I'm still scrolling. It's scrolling. So impressive. So that makes me, when I look at this, I'm like, wow, that's a lot. Like, first off, that's a lot of dedication and really impressive. So do you find that you get your growth by doing these certifications? It looks like you do. So you're just like, you just nail out these certifications. Like they're no
Oh, but
big deal.
it's like it's not really like it's how to explain. So my core trait, character trait, is I'm a learner. So I do this because I like it. So it brings me a lot of joy, and like I feel happy when I learn and like have like a new certification, or like yeah, end up exam like with the passing
Yeah.
it. I guess. So yeah, like the process of learning is like the best part, not like the gaining the certification actually. So yeah, I just do it for fun.
Wow. You guys get that? She has 22 license and certifications for fun. So that's impressive. And on top of that, you have education on top of that. And I see you've got a couple of, like, it looks like you have a lot of degrees. You have a master's, a couple post-grad educations as well. So you do like learning, and I like learning as well. Do you have a plan in place to go back to school anytime like in the future in the next 1 to 2 years? Or are you going to focus on certifications or maybe just hands-on?
Yeah, I think maybe certifications only. So I want to do the offensive security uh, OCP. I never know
Oh
what,
yeah,
what that means.
OSCP. It's OSCP. Yeah, that's like the coveted one for pen testers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
can't
then
wait.
a few others from like the offensive security as well.
When you take that test, would you come back on the show? Like the day, like let me know when you're going to take that test, and then wherever it falls, let's have you on the show as soon as possible, because I don't think a lot of people understand how intense that test is. It's like a 24-hour test, and a lot of
Oh, it's
people
not really a test. You have to hack actual boxes and
yeah,
write a
it's
report at the end.
intense. Yeah, it's super intense. Bob asked if hold on, let me pull up his question. He said, "Have you ever considered teaching?"
Yeah, I like sharing my knowledge, but I don't think I'm a very good teacher because I have a hard time explaining things to people. So maybe I will have to work on that some more. And yeah, then sure.
Yeah, it would be. I think that you probably explain things better than you realize. Yeah, I will definitely check that out, Kimberly. Yeah, I know she got hers as well. I actually asked her to be on the show. She's really, really busy. I'll follow up with her too. Another woman in the space, Savannah Lazara, I think that's how you say her last name. She's a really good connect for pen testers in the space. Okay, so we are coming towards the end of the show. And before we wrap up, what I typically like to do is I like to provide my guests an opportunity to just kind of share final thoughts with the audience. It can be anything, it can be like inspirational, thanking them, whatever you want. It's just final thoughts to end the show. And then I send you off to the green room. So your stage is yours. Say
So yeah,
whatever you feel like saying. It could talk about like being fearless like Wonder Woman and leaning into it. Here you go. It's all yours.
before I go into the setting sun, right?
Yeah.
So just I don't know, just wanted to share that yeah, although you might not believe in yourself, so just try and like send that CV if there's like a job posting that you really want to follow and they want, for example, 3 years and you have zero, like send that CV anyway. You never know what could happen, and maybe you will get that job, and like good for you, right? And and yeah, I don't know, I guess don't doubt yourself so much. I have like a very tough time with my internal critic, but yeah, but trying to just explain to myself, yeah, you rock, girl. So yeah, also it's, it's not easy always, but yeah, you just have to try your best, I guess.
You rock. Hold on, I'm gonna do this. You rock, girl. And then I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna do this. Can I show my own comment? I just did that. Oh, that's cool. I've never done that before. That's
That's so
something.
cool.
Yeah, and it doesn't show my name. So, bam, look at that. Bob did ask a quick question. He just wanted to know, what platforms are you sharing the knowledge? Are you sharing it mostly on LinkedIn? Do you have other platforms?
So yeah, mostly on LinkedIn. I also have a Twitter account, but I just post like jokes there, so not really knowledge sharing. So yeah, mostly LinkedIn, and yeah, I want to do like a Twitch live shows in some time, but yeah, I don't think I'm ready yet. So yeah, maybe after the big exam, I will have like the courage.
I think you're totally ready. Yeah. Is your Twitter just your first name? Oh, I see you. Yep. Let me drop your Twitter in here. Wonder Woman, can't beat that. Yeah, I think you're so ready. So there is an area that we've got to get you out there and start twitching it. So yeah, I just made twitching it up. That's weird. So it kind of reminds me of twerking it. But anyway, all right. Well, you're awesome. I am gonna now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you to the green room. You can hang out over there, or you can hop off. It's all up to you. And then I'm gonna wrap the show with everyone. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
You're amazing. Bye, girl. That was awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us today. What an amazing story, and completely humble, like super humble. I was just very, very blessed to be able to share that story with all of you, and that she allowed me to share that story, because I didn't share this the first time I had asked her to come on the show. She had actually said no because she had some things that were going on in her life. So I'm really happy that I was able to share that with all of you. It was a great story, but please make sure that you reach out to her, connect with her. Amazing contact. Just really quick, if you are new here, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel, join our community. Anybody that is watching this, it would mean the world to me if you hit that like button down below and even share this out with other people that you think could benefit from this show. I'm going to review really quick our next week's show, and then I am hopping off of here and I'm going over to Simply Cyber here shortly. And Carrie, thanks for that reminder. So just let you guys know, next week, this is a reschedule. We were supposed to have Daniel on the show a few weeks back. Really excited about this guest. He's our Thursday guest. We're going to be learning from him about the stuck neck impact. He was actually like in the proximity, like he wasn't working for a firm, but he got hired right when it happened. So that's going to be a really interesting story. And then he's been working in the ICS industry or in the ICS space for 33 years. So a lot of wealth of experience. And I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to ICS stuff. I find the space really fascinating. And then just a reminder, if you haven't checked it out, we have a new show. Well, I guess it's not really new. It's the 6th week, I think. But CyberFed News, it's a pre-recorded show that hosts every Friday morning. And it posts at 9 a.m. And what it is it's the weekly roundup of cybersecurity in the federal space. And huge shout out to James Driscoll. He's behind the scenes helping me develop this. And he wrote 2 of the stories this week. He's actually started, and he already got onboarded. I just haven't sent out the announcement, but James Driscoll is onboarded to Outpost Gray as one of our newest cybersecurity content creators. So super excited about that. And bonus points if you can ever figure out which story that James does versus me. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here, but I am going to head over to Simply Cyber and watch that live stream. It's kicking off in 1 minute. Do me a favor when you hop in there, do a hashtag Outpost Gray, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you all again. It's so always great to see you. Love you all. Cheers. See you next week. Bye.